New overnight, a deadly car crash in Dane County. What we're learning about the people involved.
Plus, today, the collection of defaulted student loans is set to resume. We'll tell you what you need to know. Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning. I'm Kyrian Lee.
And I'm Chris Stanford. We want to get right away to some serious news in the town of Dunn. One person is dead and another is seriously injured after a two-vehicle crash on US 51.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened last night just before 8:30. They say an SUV traveling north crossed the center line and hit a pickup truck traveling south head-on. The 69-year-old driver of the SUV died at the scene. The 47-year-old pickup driver is in the hospital with serious injuries. Traffic had to be rerouted for several hours. The crash is under investigation.
All right, let's head out to the patio here in Madison, get a check on what's going on in your forecast. Good morning, Savannah.
Good morning. Thank you. We're tracking a couple of cool spots this morning, mainly Boscobel, Camp Douglas, and then up in Black River Falls, 32, which is freezing level. Everyone else is waking up in the mid to even upper 40s. We are down to 43 in Madison, and most of Dane County waking up to the lower 40s. Not a bad start, but we will start to see temperatures warm slowly, but we will see the lower to mid 60s later this afternoon. A lot of cloud cover that we're going to be sitting under, not necessarily right now, but as a whole today. And then once we get to late afternoon, early evening, those sky conditions are going to clear again. We do have a couple of spotty showers. Those are all east right now, but will travel further west. So spotty showers Monday morning can't be ruled out. And then the rest of the day dry. We're tracking mild temperatures. We'll talk about how warm we'll be tomorrow and heading into Mother's Day coming up. All
right, we'll talk to you then, Savannah. Thank you. Developing now, there is a silver alert out for an older woman in Madison. The woman's name is Hayo Fiboth. She is believed to have dementia or another cognitive impairment. She was last seen in the 6900 block of Carnwood Road yesterday around 5:30 in the evening. Fiboth was on foot at the time. Distinguishing features include a 1-inch scar on the left side of her forehead. If you have any information, please call the Madison Police Department at 608-255-2345.
Collection of defaulted federal student loans resumes today. This comes after a 5-year pause related to the pandemic. The government says defaulting now can lead to garnishment of state or federal benefits. It can also lead to the garnishment of wages starting this summer. The Department of Education estimates about 5 million borrowers have defaulted on student loans. It says another 4 million are at least 90 days late on payments. If you're looking for options, our consumer reporter Michonne Quinn is here now in studio with what services are available. Good morning.
Good morning. If you're worried about defaulting, experts say to look into 3 things: an income-based repayment plan, payment pauses such as deferment or forbearance, or consolidation and refinancing. Now let's break these down. Income-driven repayment is just as it sounds. Your monthly payment is determined by your income. The different types of repayment plans are on your screen now, and these are plans that adjust your monthly payment based on your income and family size. Now, if you choose deferment or forbearance, you can get temporary relief, meaning you won't have to pay right now, but it's important to note that depending on the type of loan during deferment, interest may not accrue, versus forbearance where interest accrues on all loans. Now, consolidation is an option that combines multiple existing debts into one new financial commitment, or refinancing, which basically changes the terms of your debt obligation. Typically, this means taking out a new loan or other financial product with different terms like new interest rates and repayment periods. You can learn more and apply for your plan at studentaid.gov.
All right, it's been 5 years for a lot of people, so thanks for getting us updated, Michelle Renee.
Absolutely.
All right, to some politics now. Both Wisconsin Senators Tammy Baldwin and Ron Johnson are sharing their views on the state of the economy. Our recent GDP report shows U.S. economic growth slowed this quarter for the first time in years. It's largely due to the increase in imports over fears of an impending trade war. Here's Senator Johnson's take on it.
My biggest concern about tariffs is the level of uncertainty and the instability that is injected into the economy. Obviously, from Wisconsin, we have a lot of manufacturers that are participating in global trade, both importing and exporting, sometimes importing components from overseas in these global supply chains. They have to do that to remain competitive globally if they're going to export the product. So I'm hearing daily from multiple Wisconsin businesses that it could be put out of business.
Meanwhile, Congress is working on a new national spending plan. Amid that, Democrats are worried about potential cuts to programs like Medicaid.
A number of my Republican colleagues on that committee are already expressing big concerns about the cuts that have been proposed, not just in Medicaid, but throughout Health and Human Services, cuts to biomedical research, cuts to Head Start, cuts to various other programs that are of huge import to those of us in Wisconsin.
Senator Baldwin adds that she is working to find some partners across the aisle, but says that they are not quite there yet.
Cardinals from around the world are gathering in Rome in preparation for the conclave. The conclave is the election in which a new pope will be selected. The conclave doesn't officially get underway until Wednesday, but cardinals are already coming together for dinners and discussion. The new pope will be selected in the Vatican's famed Sistine Chapel by cardinals under the age of 80.
President Trump says he does not plan to run for a third term. It's a reversal from a stance 2 months ago when he said he wasn't joking about running again. U.S. presidents are limited to 2 terms, of course, under the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution. Also in that Meet the Press interview, the president said that he does not know whether every person living on American soil is entitled to due process. The president made the remarks in response to questions about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Garcia is the Maryland man wrongly deported to El Salvador in what justice officials called a clerical error.
Former Vice President Mike Pence received the John F. Kennedy Profile in Courage Award. He spoke about the importance of political parties carrying out their duties. Pence received the award for his refusal to go along with President Donald Trump's efforts to remain in office after losing the 2020 election. Pence says that it's the common ground Democrats and Republicans find through the Constitution that forms the basis for the future of the U.S.
Our institutions held that day not because of any one person, but because leaders in both political parties, Republicans and Democrats, did their duty. So I came tonight to give credit where credit is due, but also to say in these divided times, in these anxious days, I know in my heart that we will find our way forward as one nation.
Pence did not mention President Trump by name during his speech. However, he did make several references to the Trump administration.
America's measles outbreak is now spreading to other countries. The Associated Press reporting cases have now been identified in Canada and Mexico. The outbreak has now risen to more than 600 cases in Texas, primarily spreading among the unvaccinated. At least 2 children have already died from the disease.
Your survival rate from cancer could partly depend on where you live. A study published in JAMA shows that states that collect more tax revenue have lower cancer death rates. The reasons could be greater access to cancer screenings and tax policies. Those screenings and policies reduce health care disparities between the rich and poor.
1 in 10 Wisconsinites are facing food insecurity, but there are some Middleton high schoolers trying to do something about that. Middleton Meals Matter set up 6 locations across the area for a food drive yesterday. They collected non-perishable food items for those battling hunger. They also used the drive to kick off their Week Against Hunger initiative. Momentum is ramping up for the nonprofit after the company was founded in 2024.
Dry maybe with food donations and stuff, so we really just wanted to find that boost. So I think that we really just picked this week to, kickstart May and just hopefully get a lot of food for the community.
You can find out more about how to donate on Middleton Meals Matter's website. That's meals-matter.org. Love to see that.
Yes.
And people doing good in the community.
Yes, everyone coming together. Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Today will be cooler than what we had yesterday, but then tomorrow we're tracking the 70s. We'll talk about how long that could stick around.
And ahead in your morning sports, new Packers showing up at Lambeau. Why they say it's a blessing to be there.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, moving forward.
More than 300 people packed Monona Terrace for a night to remember last night.
The event is a prom that celebrates people with disabilities. News 3 Now's Tanisha Shaw takes us to the event.
Prom is an experience that everyone deserves to enjoy.
They're very kind to put on the dance for people like us, and we include us, anybody that has any kind of disability.
Sunday night, Heartland Church hosted a night to remember, a gala for people with disabilities. This is Sarah Lawson's 4th time attending the event, and like any other prom night, it's always nice to have someone to dance with.
What do you like most about this celebration?
Dancing with my girlfriend.
Lawson and her boyfriend, Scott Churchill, aren't the only ones making their prom night extra special. This is Rory Fox. He's not only celebrating the night, but he's also celebrating his birthday.
I feel happy and happy because it was very fun and sad because I have to leave.
Melissa Shotwell is the executive director of A Night to Remember, and she wants everyone to feel that same feeling.
This is important so that everyone knows that they are celebrated, that they are valued for who they are, and that's what Night to Remember is about. That's our tagline is we celebrate people for who they are.
And unlike most proms that take place at a high school, everyone here is taking pictures, dressed to the nines, and dancing the night away for free.
That's how we are able to do it, through financial donations, through volunteers that come from Heartland as well as the whole community. We are able to come together and do this for 350 honored guests tonight.
Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
And it was only fitting that the theme of this year's event was May the 4th be with you.
It looked like a lot of fun.
Yes, and I'm glad this will be a night to remember for many of them.
I believe it. All right, let's check in with Savannah Brito now at our studio here in Madison with your first one forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. Temperatures right now across Dane County are in the lower 40s. We do have some warmer areas that's mainly surrounding the Madison area. Upper, mid to upper 40s for the most part across most of southern Wisconsin. Almost 60 by the lunchtime hour, and then temperatures will climb in the lower to even mid 60s across southern Wisconsin later in the day. A lot of cloud cover right now, at least Madison, and definitely eastward. That's where all the shower activity has been. A few spotty showers, mainly Dane County and also southward for the next couple of hours until mid-morning. Then we'll start to finally see the shower activity decrease, and not everyone will see the rain. Most of us actually are going to stay dry, but then clouds continue to increase at least through mid-afternoon. By late afternoon, early evening, those clouds start to break, and temperatures overnight are going to fall into the 40s. For the most part, mid-40s. I do think a couple areas could stay closer to 50. And then warmer air is going to arrive tomorrow. We're back into the 70s. Most of us at least the lower. A couple of us even see the mid 70s tomorrow. Might see a stray shower, but I think skies are going to be partly sunny, and then we'll see cooler temperatures stick around for Wednesday through Friday, but we'll still at least be near normal or even slightly above average. Some patchy fog will develop as we head closer to midnight, and then even into the early morning hours. That's when visibilities are going to drop even more. Likely going to see some places that get down to about half a mile or less at parts in time, and that will include localized patchy dense fog. So just be mindful of that heading into early Tuesday if you do have to be out, and maybe allow a little bit of extra time because we will be seeing and dealing with lower visibilities. Winds will gust up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour, so a little bit of a factor. It won't be as breezy as what we had last Monday though, but definitely going to see those come down overnight, that being one of the reasons why we'll see that fog develop. And then tomorrow afternoon, a similar story where winds could gust up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. So again, over the next 48 hours, the afternoon and evening hours will be a little bit of a factor as far as winds go, but not major. And then we see the 60s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Into Mother's Day weekend, temperatures return to the lower to even mid 70s.
For the Brewers, this year's I-94 rivalry is off to a rocky start. The Cubs took each of the first two games and had a chance to sweep the Brewers in Milwaukee for the first time in a decade yesterday. Leading 1-0 in the fourth are the Crew, and they would extend that lead with a hallmark moment. Daz Cameron drives in a run thanks to his first hit in a Brewers uniform, and his dad, who you may remember, Mike Cameron, who played for the Crew back in the day, is there to witness it. Grab your tissues as the Crew tear open a 2-0 lead, and later in the frame, the rookie Caleb Durbin doubles the Brewers' lead. A 2-run ripper to the right side completes a 4-run fourth inning, helping the Brewers avoid the sweep as they take it 4-0, the final score. For all of the excitement and the whirlwind that is the NFL draft, for a player, it gets real this past weekend at rookie minicamp. Even if the season is still a few months away, reporting to Green Bay for the first time as a professional athlete is a stunning realization. One that is a dream come true and one that's a long time in the making for a pair of new Packers defensive linemen.
Taking it in, having fun, but also realizing that I'm doing this for that little kid that said he wants to be a professional football player when I was like 5 or 6. Out there practicing in, in Green Bay Packers gear. Like, it don't really get better than that.
After I got drafted, it really didn't hit me until I woke up the next morning. It was like, whoa, I'm a Packer. And it was like, oh, snap, I'm really in the NFL for real. But it's cool, man. It's a blessing, bro. 10-year-old me would be very proud. I'm in the NFL. I'm living the dream. I get to play football for fun now. And, I mean, I just got smiles on my face. I did a walk through. I'm just smiling. It's like, wow, I'm really here, bro. It's a blessing.
As you could imagine, finding the right players in the transfer portal can feel like finding a needle in a haystack. You sift through thousands of players, or you could say applicants, trying to find the best 4 or 5 fits for your specific needs. Greg Gard says the formula for his portal formula boils down to relationships, saying Virginia transfer Andrew Rohde is a prime example, someone that they've already been recruiting for years.
A lot of research, a lot of phone calls, a lot of depending on, you're trying to rely on relationships. Obviously with Rohde, being from the state, we recruited him, watched him in high school, recruited him when he transferred from St. Thomas to Virginia. Obviously stayed in touch with the people around him and he decides to make a move.
To the golf links where Scotty Scheffler made history in his hometown, winning the Byron Nelson Cup, carding a 31 under par for the weekend. The world's #1 made his professional debut on this very course 11 years ago and returns to win it for the first time ever. That's your morning sports fix. Have a wonderful week.
You too, Andrew. Still ahead, some cool Legos and a new accessory from Panera is so sought after that it's sold out.
And coming up in our next half hour, what you need to know to reduce your chances of a stroke this Stroke Awareness Month. Welcome back. This photo is from Michelle Renee's grandma. She says, Maisie in Grandpa's shoe.
That's right.
Okay.
There she is. There she is.
And you said there's, Maisie might be a little biased, maybe.
Yeah. We think Maisie likes Grandpa a little bit more. Now, that is my grandmother's thought. She says she's a little jealous because you see, this is Grandpa's slipper right there.
Right.
Grandpa doesn't have good smelling feet, so I mean, clearly, nobody has good smelling feet. I'm not.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Whatever, feet, never mind.
Shea butter. Buttered up, please. Don't do me. But anyways, yes.
Anyways, Macy clearly very, very much loves Grandpa.
Yes, Grandma, thank you so much for sending this in.
All right, hey, Formula One fans treated to an unusual sight ahead of the Miami Grand Prix. Check this out, life-like replica, full-size cars here made all out of Legos. The cars came from 26 different designers, engineers, and Lego builders based at the Lego Group's Klando factory in the Czech Republic. The project took over 22,000 hours, 10 cars at nearly 1-to-1 scale, authentic Formula One cars here. Each car comprised of about 400,000 Lego bricks. How impressive is this? I mean, goodness, I love Legos. Legos are timeless. I think, people of all generations love Legos.
Look at the little one next to the big one.
You're limited by your imagination.
Until you're a parent that steps on one.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started.
Yes. Or anybody who steps on one. Yes.
Yeah, those hurt.
One of the worst pains that you can feel.
Yeah, my brother is 7 years younger than me, and he was always playing with Legos, and I would always tiptoe around them and then accidentally step on one.
Yeah. So you see, you know the pain. You know the pain.
These are really cool, though.
Love that. Hey, Panera Bread has some new menu items which have inspired a new accessory. Check this out. This is Panera's limited edition croissant clutch. The bakery company calls the purse the it bag of the season.
Make sure you put emphasis on the it bag.
Yeah, the it bag of the season. It's inspired by Panera's new croissant toast sandwiches. The dark brown croissant-shaped clutch has detachable gold chain shoulder straps. It also has a custom gold medal P embroidery. The product's sold out online. You can request the one, though, by email once it's back in stock. Shipping is expected to start in August. What do we think?
The only better thing about this is if it was edible.
It looks delicious, doesn't it?
That defeats the
Edible
purpose.
Edible purse. Girl.
Bah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Let me finish your sentence. But this is right up Michelle Renee's alley, right?
Yes, I do love the croissant perch. However, Panera said it was the it bag. Panera cannot say that about its own bag, so we need the public to decide,
gotcha.
is it the it bag?
Like, how much space is in this thing? Like, can we
If I
actually
can
fit things?
my
Like, look at the
phone,
shape.
a lip gloss, I have smaller purses, so I guarantee you your phone will fit in there.
I want to know how much it is, though.
Yeah, I would like to know the price too, because honestly, I think it's really cute.
Yeah, like I said, this is right up your alley. Small purses, food-shaped bags. This is Michelle Renee all over it. Yep, gotta love it. All right.
Well, guys, we're tracking some warmer temperatures. We'll talk about the warmest day out of the work week and look at Mother's Day forecasts this weekend.
This morning, tragedy in the town of Crystal Lake, the latest in the shooting death of a child.
Plus, severe weather season, a new kind of warning you should watch out for.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, on a Monday to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrian Lee. Thanks for waking up with us.
Hey, happy belated birthday.
Yes, thank
I know
you.
I wished you a birthday yesterday.
It's fine.
But if you didn't get a chance to wish Kyrian a happy birthday, make sure you do so today. Hit her up on social media. Give her a little birthday love.
Yeah, I was feeling all the love yesterday, and the weather wasn't. It shaped up pretty good for us overall, I would say.
I went back and forth from being cold to hot. Cold. Hot. I was
That's
outside
exactly
for a
what it
lot of
was.
soccer games yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, yeah, just depended on how hard the wind was blowing. So let's see what we're going to expect today. Meteorologist Vanna Brito outside our Madison studio here with a look at your first warn forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. Look, there's a turkey. Oh, you can't see him now.
We blocked them.
There's a couple of turkeys out here. I was like, ooh, we always got some kind of animal. There he is.
There they are.
There he is. Look at the turkey. He's eating some of the bird seed out there. The other one ran away. Oh, that one's getting scared by my voice too. Well, we're dealing with a couple of spotty showers for the most part. That's out just west towards Milwaukee or east towards Milwaukee, but these will continue to move further west. I do think for the most part, mostly dry across southern Wisconsin, but can't rule out a couple of very spotty showers. Temperatures right now, those are not bad. Most of us are sitting in the 40s. We do have a couple of cooler spots up near Wisconsin Dells and towards Black River Falls. We got some 30s. We'll talk about when the 70s are going to return and Mother's Day forecast this upcoming Sunday coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, thank you, Savannah. We want to get to some urgent news now. One person is dead, another seriously injured after a two-car crash on Highway 51 in the town of Dunn.
The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened last night just before 8:30. They say an SUV traveling north crossed the center line and hit a pickup truck traveling south head-on. The 69-year-old driver of the SUV died at the scene. The 47-year-old pickup driver is in the hospital with serious injuries. Traffic had to be rerouted for several hours. This crash is under investigation. And developing now, there's a silver alert for an older woman in Madison. The woman's name is Hayo Freibrath. She is believed to have dementia or another cognitive impairment. Police say she was last seen in the 6900 block of Carnwood Road yesterday at 5:30 p.m. Freibrath was on foot at that time. Distinguishing features include a 1-inch scar on the left side of her forehead. If you have any information, please call the City of Madison Police Department. You can do so at 608-255-2345.
Now, some tragic news in Crystal Lake where a child is dead after being shot by another child. The Marquette County Sheriff's Office says Saturday a 7-year-old shot a 3-year-old. The Sheriff's Office says they will not be releasing any more information at this time because of the nature of the situation. The Marquette County Sheriff's Office did release a statement on Facebook saying this is a devastating situation for everyone involved and that their hearts go out to the family and the community as they investigate this unimaginable loss.
A woman is dead after a UTV crash in the town of Kendall. It happened over the weekend on the Pecatonica Trail near Brunton Lake. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Office says a 50-year-old Illinois man lost control of the UTV. The passenger, a 55-year-old Kewanee, Illinois woman, was found unresponsive. After life-saving attempts, she was pronounced dead at the scene. The man suffered injuries but has been released from the hospital. Police say alcohol and speed are believed to be factors. The crash is under investigation.
Now to our continuing coverage in the search for a new state Democratic Party leader. Whoever the next party chair is, they'll have to rally Wisconsin Dems into the 2026 election. On the ballot, governor and likely control of the Senate. One candidate in the running is William Garcia. He leads the Democratic Party in western Wisconsin in the 3rd District, which is a highly coveted and largely rural district.
I'm running because there is a disconnect between the state party and local county parties. Ben Wickler has done an amazing job of building this incredible infrastructure around the state party with these huge fundraising apparatuses and organizing structures and everything else. But in this system, local county parties have been left behind, especially the voices of the people who run those local county parties.
Current Republican Congressman Derek Van Orden serves that district. In 2024, he won re-election by about 2% of the vote. President Trump has already endorsed him for 2026.
Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman announced he will campaign for governor of the state. Schoeman declared his campaign at the Elderberry Manor event venue near his home outside West Bend. He is looking to win the GOP primary for the 2026 gubernatorial election. He is an Army National Guard veteran and a graduate of UW-Whitewater and Northern Illinois.
President Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz, the infamous prison in the San Francisco Bay. He wants to use it to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. The federal prison at Alcatraz housed notorious U.S. criminals such as Al Capone before it closed in 1963. It is now one of San Francisco's most popular tourist destinations. Reopening the prison would likely be expensive because of the building's aging infrastructure.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says he will meet with President Trump in Washington tomorrow. The Prime Minister says the meeting will focus on tariffs and the broader U.S.-Canada relationship. The press asked Carney how he might avoid the kind of public argument that happened between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office. He responded that he is expecting a difficult but constructive conversation. Carney was sworn in as Canada's 24th Prime Minister in March after being elected leader of the Liberal Party. Canadian voters returned the party to power in the country's federal elections last Monday.
The president has a new target in his trade war, Hollywood. The president says that he plans to impose a 100% tariff on movies made outside of the U.S. The president says foreign filmmaking presents a national security threat to the U.S., including messaging and propaganda. Major film and interest groups have yet to comment.
Jury selection is now underway in the federal case against Sean Diddy Combs. The 55-year-old hip-hop mogul faces 5 counts, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Prosecutors argue he drugged his alleged victims and forced them to engage in sexual acts. Combs' lawyer says he's innocent. Combs rejected a plea deal in this case last week. If convicted, he could possibly spend the rest of his life in prison. Opening statements are set to begin May 12th.
2 people are in custody this morning connected to a bomb plot at a Lady Gaga concert. The free concert in Rio de Janeiro this weekend went on, though, without disruption, even breaking records. It was the highest attended by a female artist. An estimated 2.5 million people were there, smashing the record previously held by Madonna.
In health news this morning, May marks the start of Stroke Awareness Month. The American Heart Association says about 800,000 people in the U.S. have a stroke every year, but they also say as many as 80% could be preventable. SSM Health Dr. Rupa Shah explains the warning signs of a stroke.
And we like to use that acronym FAST, F-A-S-T. It's just a good way to kind of remember it. But F stands for face. So looking at somebody, is their face drooping? Do you have any numbness or tingling in your face? You can just ask somebody to smile. That's a nice, simple way to see if their face is symmetric. A is arm. Again, do you have any arm numbness, weakness? Just ask that person again. Hold both their arms up and see if one arm starts drooping, kind of drifting downwards. That can be a sign of weakness on one side of the body. S is speech. Is their speech slurred? Is it garbled? Is it nonsensical? Are they not making sense? Ask them just to repeat a simple sentence and see if they can say it quickly. And then T is time. It's time to call 911. If you notice any one of those symptoms, time is critical when we're talking about strokes. So call 911 and get that person to the hospital.
Doctors say lifestyle changes can largely reduce the risk of stroke. Firstly, you should monitor your blood pressure to ensure it's in a normal range. You should have a healthy diet, and if you smoke, you should cut back or try to quit.
A reminder, we are in severe weather season, which means it's that time of year to watch out for phony roofers.
Our consumer reporter, Michelle Renee Quinn, has tips to help homeowners avoid getting scammed. Michelle Renee, what tips do you have?
Well, if someone comes to your door offering a free roof inspection or on-the-spot repair, you need to be cautious. The scam starts out with a fraudulent roofer claiming to be working on a neighbor's house, or they just happen to notice your damaged roof. Now, the first tip to help you spot this scam is asking questions. If you're not dealing with an honest company, you'll likely be met with vague answers. Still not sure if it's real or not? Find out with a quick search on bbb.org. Accredited businesses adhere to the Better Business Bureau's standards for trust. So if you see the BBB seal, it's a sign of a better business. And finally, get your insurance company to inspect your roof or get a second opinion. Have a reputable company confirm the need for repairs or replacements. And if you do accept an inspection and you're not sure if it's a dishonest inspector, make sure you pay attention to what they do. If they don't find enough wear and tear for a whole new roof, they may fabricate it by tearing off shingles to mimic wind damage. But again, that's super easy to avoid. Just get that quick search in on bbb.org.
All right, there you go. Good information. It's that time of year. Thanks, Michelle Renee. Folks, tickets are on sale right now for the Great Taste of the Midwest. It's one of the longest running craft beer festivals in North America. Beer enthusiasts lined up all over Madison yesterday to be one of the first people to buy their tickets to Beer Heaven. Check out those lines. News 3 asked people at Vintage Brewery how long they've been waiting there.
About 4 hours, got here around 8 o'clock. There's already a line forming.
Not long. It's been different the last few years. So we got here around 8:30, I guess. So the years past, you used to have to get out here at like 3 a.m., but the last few years it's been better. So 8:30.
All right, mark your calendars. Great Taste of the Midwest, August 9th, Olin Park. By purchasing a ticket, you gain access to unlimited beer samples from over 200 breweries and pubs and 1,400 beers. 1,400 beers, Kyrian.
Yeah, that's insane. Yes, and lots of people in line waiting for those tickets, so they're ready to go.
Yeah, big deal.
And supporting local, so
there you
gotta
go.
love that.
Yeah, they need it right now, too.
Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, it'll be cloudy and cooler this afternoon. We're only tracking the 60s. That's at least near normal, but a big warm up. Those details coming up.
Also, after the break, the way women in Janesville are trying to stay healthy.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Love this video. We need more like that. Send those in. If you're heading out for recess like all those kiddos, at least in the morning hours, temperatures will slowly start to rise. I would say by mid-morning, we'll be looking at the lower to mid-50s. If you're heading out for an afternoon recess, that's when temperatures are going to be closer to the 60-degree mark. Most of us are going to top out later this afternoon in the lower to even mid-60s. So we'll be cooler as a whole today compared to yesterday. And then a lot of cloud cover, at least for that middle part of the day. We will see a little bit of clearing take place, though, later once we get to late afternoon, early evening. A couple of spotty showers. Most of southern Wisconsin will stay dry, though, and then we'll warm up later into the day, but notice a lot of white on future track. That's all the thicker clouds that we're going to have in place. And then those do diminish late evening into the early nighttime hours. That will be the clearing. One of the reasons why we're going to see some patchy fog develop, and then also higher humidity levels, and that's when winds are also going to come down. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to be a lot warmer. We're back in the lower to even mid-70s. Some patchy fog starts to develop around midnight. That's going to be lighter, though, not dense fog, but I do think we'll start to see some pretty heavy and dense fog once we get past about that 3 to 4 a.m. time frame all the way into about mid-morning. The early to mid-morning hours looks like we could even see areas come down to around a quarter of a mile or less at times. So that gray, the contour down here across Janesville, Dane County, and then northeast of here, that's the thicker and more dense massive fog that we're going to see early tomorrow. So allow for a little bit of extra time if you do have to be out. By mid to late morning, the fog should clear. Tomorrow, mainly the afternoon hours of today and tomorrow are going to be a little on the breezier side, not windy as a whole, but we could see gusts potentially reach about 15 to 20 miles per hour. They come down overnight, and then tomorrow we'll find ourselves pretty much in a similar spot in the afternoon and evening. Warmer, but we will still see gusts up to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. We have a ridge that's going to be building, that's already been building, but that does spread closer to southern Wisconsin from the Great Plains, and you can see all the yellows and oranges. Those are the well above average temperatures we're going to experience here tomorrow, and really this entire week not looking bad. The rest of the week, Wednesday through Friday, will be in the mid to even upper 60s, and then for Mother's Day weekend, we do start to see those temperatures, the yellows, the oranges, the warmer weather start to build back up here. So we're back into the lower to mid 70s for Saturday and Sunday after a little bit of a cooler pattern Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think the 70s, lower to mid 70s will stick around for early to midweek next week. So not a bad temperature pattern, and our nighttime lows get into the 50s too. Really looking forward to it. And the sunshine too. I know. We've been saying it since it got cold.
I'm like literally like next month, like is the start of summer.
I know.
And like,
June 1st is meteorological summer.
And we're just slowly, trekking along here, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Eventually.
We'll get there. I think we're there.
Yeah, I do think we're there.
What do you
will
expect?
Take this, but I mean,
What do you expect for early May?
I don't know. A little bit warmer than this based on other places I've lived. But I guess I have to remember where I'm at.
It's just
Well, we'll adjust your expectations here eventually.
Yeah.
Yes. I gotta lower the expectation here, I guess. Yeah. I'm learning. Slowly but surely.
We'll get you there. Thanks, Savannah. Hey, I had an awesome Plan My Day video today. We'd love for you to send us one. Savannah would plan your day. Just share your name, where you're at, and then upload it through the website, the First Warn Weather app, Facebook Messenger, or email it to us, and then watch to see if you make it on the air.
In climate news this morning, new data from the organization Climate Power shows President Trump's policies have put 95 clean energy projects at risk of being delayed or canceled, representing over $71 billion in investment that has generated more than 62,000 jobs. Should more projects be terminated, as many as 399,000 jobs in the clean energy sector could be at risk that have come online since August 2022.
America's measles outbreak now spreading to other countries. Cases have now been identified in Canada and Mexico. The outbreak has risen to more than 600 cases in Texas, primarily among the unvaccinated. 2 kids have been killed by measles so far this season. To women's health now. That's the focus of downtown Janesville's newest edition. And our Ellie Liberté is going to show us there's a bit of a twist, or a jump, you could say, to the workout classes.
It's something you're more likely to find at a playground. But for Carrie Krieger, each jump is a step towards body positivity.
This is the one space that you can come to, and you have to focus on yourself.
She opened Rock Rebounding downtown Janesville this week with the goal of lifting women up.
As moms, we focus on 20 million different things. So the female empowerment is, I want you to understand to love your body through all phases of life and to become one with the trampoline and spend time with just yourself.
The 30-minute classes Carrie offers happen right on these 10 trampolines and are meant just for women.
With the perimenopausal world, I feel like this could be something that could be great to bring to Janesville. Strengthening of the pelvic floor, we do a lot of bringing our knees to our core, a lot of core workout, really bringing something that's new and shiny, but also low impact and high energy.
Carrie's only taught a couple of classes so far, but is already catching the attention of women like Sarah Byer.
It is interesting just because there's a lot of movement. I'm one that I don't stay still well, so I think it's fun. You just get to kind of bounce and be crazy, so that speaks to me.
I think as females, we're always so hard on our body. We need to find wins in life as females and accept our body no matter what, at whatever stage we're at.
The empowerment in each step, or jump, of Carrie's business plan. Reporting in Janesville, Ellie Liberté, News 3 Now.
I love to see it.
Whatever gets you moving, right?
Yes, and I love the trampoline ordeal thing.
Yeah.
It made me do a little search here to see what I can do.
All right.
Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the video calling service that will soon go away forever.
Got a little kiddo turning 3 soon? Send us a picture. We'll show it on TV to help him celebrate. We're back with the sprint here in Madison right after this. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
This morning, one person is dead and another is seriously injured after a two-vehicle crash on US 51 in the town of Dunn. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the crash happened last night. An SUV traveling north crossed the center line and hit a pickup truck traveling south head-on. The driver of the SUV died at the scene. Traffic had to be rerouted for several hours. The crash is under investigation.
A child is dead after a shooting in the town of Crystal Lake up in Marquette County. The sheriff's office says that a 7-year-old shot a 3-year-old Saturday. The sheriff's office says they will not be releasing further information at this time because of the nature of the situation.
Collection of defaulted federal student loans resumed today. Accounts have been on pause since the start of the pandemic 5 years ago. The government says defaulting now can lead to garnishment of state or federal benefits as well as wages starting this summer.
Well, it's the last day for Skype. Microsoft says it's shutting down Skype to help them focus on Teams, simplifying its communications offerings. Skype's audio and video calls quickly disrupted the landline industry in the early 2000s.
Hollywood is President Trump's new target in the trade war. He says he plans to impose a 100% tariff on moves made outside of the U.S. The president says foreign filmmaking presents a national security threat to the U.S., including messaging and propaganda.
President Donald Trump wants to reopen Alcatraz, the infamous prison in the San Francisco Bay. He wants to use it to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. Reopening it would likely be expensive because of how old it is.
Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman announcing he will campaign for governor of Wisconsin. Schoeman declared his campaign at the Elderberry Manor event venue near his home outside of West Bend. He is looking to win the GOP primary for the 2026 gubernatorial election. He is an Army National Guard veteran and a graduate of UW-Whitewater in Northern Illinois.
Well, we've got a couple of spotty showers that we will be dealing with through about mid-morning. The rest of the day will be clear, but we're still going to have a lot of cloud cover until late afternoon, early evening. Lower to mid-70s tomorrow, and then plenty of days in the 60s and 70s, and that'll take us all the way up into Mother's Day on Sunday and even past that. So not a bad looking forecast, and I think we'll see some sunshine on Sunday too.
All right, sunshine and temperatures going up. Can't be mad at that.
Exactly. It's perfect.
Yes, Savannah, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We're back with another look at your news and weather in a half an hour.